Alrighty then. Now I'm here to show you how to do some of the very cool and powerful Dino DNA combos. So we just do a couple of little shuffles of the deck here. Doop, doop, and let's have a look at what we can draw first hand. Terraforming Pteranodon, Fossil Dig, Lost World, and the Soul Eating Oviraptor. Now this hand is pretty crackers. I think the best case would always be start with the terraforming. With this one, we want to grab ourselves the Dragonic Diagram because we have the Lost World. So Dragonic Diagram functionally is just like a free extra pop of the baby in hand, which is insanely good. Shuffle the deck back up. Then we go for the Diagram. We activate Diagram. We pitch Pteranodon to grab ourselves a True King Lithosogen. And then we will also trigger Pteranodon here to summon a level 4 or higher dinosaur from the deck. Now, at this point, given the rest of our hand, we're obviously going to go into Lost World next and Soul Eating Oviraptor, and we've got the Fossil Dig to get us some cool, good follow-up. Probably in this case, we want the Xenometeor just for some extra plays. So with Pteranodon, your two options really are either the Pankratops, if you want to get like some interruption on the opponent's turn, or you could go for the where's it gone? Giant Rex here if you want to go and extend into some of your XCs. I'll go for the Giant Rex in this scenario. I think we can do some powerful stuff with that. So grab the Giant Rex. Yeah, Giant Rex is fine because we can pop a few cool things in. Right, next up we obviously go for the Lost World on top of the diagram. So now this means anytime we summon a monster or summon a dinosaur, we get to put a token on the opponent's field. And while they have a token on the field, they can't target our dinosaurs with card effects, or their own cards with card effects, to be fair, as well. So it had some tripod shenanigans where it was kind of moving a bit funny. I think I've got it sorted now. So now at this point, we've got the Giant Rex on the field. We've just activated Lost World. We've got Fossil Dig in hand and Soul Eating and the Lithosogen. At this point, we actually have some interesting options because we could go for the Fossil Dig to grab ourselves a baby, which we can then pop along with the Giant Rex and the Lithosogen to really wombo off and look at their extra deck. I think in this case, I kind of want to do that. So it might not end on the most negates, but it's still a pretty potent end board. So we go for the Fossil Dig here. Yeah, let's go for the Pteranodon. Actually, no, you know what? No, we're going to go for Baby because Baby can present into some very funny end boards. So we'll go for Baby here. We'll declare True King Lithosogen, so we will pop the Baby and the Giant Rex, special this dude out, and then we get to look at your opponent's extra drop and banish up to 3 monsters with different names. So this can be really crucial at getting rid of their most powerful cards. Obviously, this now procs Baby to summon a level 4 or lower from the deck, and in this case, I think the best choice is going to be Direct Aeolio. These two in themselves present a Chengling or a Baoan if you obviously had one, which I don't, sadly. Next up, we go for our normal summon. So by this point, Lost World would have triggered on summon of the Aereo, and they would have a token, which is important to remember because their token we can pop with our own cards. So we're going to go for the normal summon of Oviraptor here, and we get to take a dinosaur from deck and either add to hand or place in the graveyard. And honestly, like you should have done this line before the True King just to give yourself the protection with Misk, but it doesn't really especially matter in these like little demos. So you grab Misky. You're gonna trigger Misk straight away, where you just discard it and protect your dinosaurs from monster effects and the activation effects for the turn. Now we have two things. We've obviously got the Miscellaneousaurus engraved, and we've got up to 4. So we've got 4 up to level 4 that we can make, and we can also do the Oviraptor to pop the token, destroy something in deck, and special summon a dinosaur from the graveyard. To start with, I think what we want to go for is the Oviraptor here. So we declare to pop the dinosaur egg token on the opponent's field. We'll use Lost World's effect here, and as a replacement, we get to destroy a dinosaur in the deck instead of one on the field. And in this case, we're just going to get rid of a baby Ceratosaurus. Now we resolve Oviraptor, so we summon out from the graveyard. Doesn't really matter too much. I'll go for the Pteranodon. It's just essentially a monster at this stage. a body really, and then now we resolve the Cerosaurus to summon a level 4 or lower from deck, and with this we're going to go for the Animadorned. At this point, Animadorned then searches us a double evolution pill, so we grab that to the hand. So we've gone through quite a bit of the deck. We've used both our overactive things. We've still got a number of interesting negates and things that we can put up. At this point here, we'd go for the Soul Eating and Aeolio. Make ourselves a Ding Dong. Ding Dong on summon gets us a Yang Zing card to hand. We'll go for the 9 pillars as the Omni negate. Now, we've got the optimal setup at the moment where we have all the other Yang Zings in deck, so we'd use this effect to send Chiwen from deck to graveyard to make himself a level 1. Now, I would probably sink the 1 and the 9 to make Chen-Ying, although obviously in this case, or in best case scenario, that would be your boy Baron. Since it was sent from field to graveyard, we proc Denglong to grab ourselves the Suani from the deck. Mustn't forget to actually have a Yang Zing on field for that. So resolving turning Animadorned into a Linkuriboh. We then link the Linkuriboh away into a Secure Gardener. This just gets us that Dinosaur and the non-dino in the grave. At this point, just looking through the grave here, because we can obviously proc Misk. How many dinosaurs have we got in the grave? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 in grave, so we can actually use those to go into Pank, or we can just make another 4, bring back the Giant Rex, and go for that from there. I think that's what we would like to do more than anything else. So at this stage, we will proc Misk, banish itself, a baby, the Giant Rex, and probably the Animadorned. Summon at level 4 from deck. It's probably good just to get the Sword Armor Dragon in. That's not level 4. The Sabersaurus into rotation. Giant Rex will proc off being banished and come back to the field. Overlay Sabersaurus and Giant Rex. And with these two, it's kind of up to you whether you want to make Dolka as a monster effect negate or Lagio as just like a spell trap negate. Given we've got the 9 pillars and that's usually for like the board breakers, probably Dolka is best here because we're in a setup where we're not going to be able to make Lars. Then we go double Evo Pill. We banish the Linkuriboh and we banish the... I guess we probably don't need Aeolio again, so we'll banish Aeolio. And with these two, we'll grab the UCT. So now, going into the opponent's turn, we have 9 pillars, which is an Omni of anything. We have the Ultimate Conduct Tyranno that can pop Petito Anodon to flip all the opponent's cards face down, all the opponent's monsters face down, and also then proc Petito Anodon to summon like Pank from deck. We've got double Monster Negate with Dolka. None of our dinosaurs can be targeted. We've also got Chen-Ying. So if a card is banished, which most decks usually have some form of banishment, such as I don't know, we don't have anything on our board at the moment, but if they do, we can obviously use Chen-Ying to put one of their cards on field or one card and one banished card in their grave. Secure Gardener kind of is doing nothing. That's probably the dead thing at the moment. So what you would want to do, it's a little bit risky, because if you're banking on the 9 pillars here to pop your own Suani when the opponent does something, you obviously want 2 slots on your board free to be able to bring Chiron back from the grave and Bian from the deck. So I would probably just actually go turn the Secure Gardener and the Petito Anodon just to the Reproducus, just so I free up the extra zone, and Reproducus acts as a dinosaur that UCT can pop to set everything face down. So you can either leave the Petito Anodon there if you want to use that and to go to Pank, but if you prefer the line where you turn Suani basically into an Omni with the 9 pillars and then you make Chiwen and Bian for a follow-up Omni, I think it's better to end like this. So this board, we didn't go for Lars. We could have done, if you'd done some steps differently and grabbed Xenometeorus with like Fossil Dig or what have you, when one of your things got destroyed, you could have brought that guy back. But at this stage, we've cleared out 3 cards in the opponent's extra deck that are going to be problematic. We've got 1 Omni that leads into a second Omni. We've got 2 monster effect negates. We've got a quick effect Book of Moon of all their monsters, and we have Chen-Ying. If they banish a card, we get to get rid of one of their cards on hand and field, and none of our guys can be targeted by none of our dinosaurs can be targeted by monster effects. So that's a pretty strong end board. going first. That was just our sample hand. Let's have a look, see what we can do with some other hands. Right, let's see what we get this time. Sabersaurus, 9 Pillars, Dogoran, Fossil Dig, and Lost World. Okay, I was a little worried with those first 3, but these 2 can kind of make stuff work. So obviously we lead with the Fossil Dig. In this case, there's no choice other than is he one of our Soul Eatings? That's the card that's going to get everything off to the races. So if we get ashed here, it's a little bit of a bad situation. If we get ashed, the best that we can really do is go for the Sabersaurus and Lost World and just like kind of hope that by stopping them from being able to target our guys and with the egg token and stuff, we just hope that we can do okay, because technically you can use the Lost World where if Sabersaurus would be destroyed, you can destroy a monster in your deck, so you could potentially eke out a win through that, or eke out like a little bit of survivability with that. But if we don't get ashed, obviously we now go for the Lost World, Soul Eating. Soul Eating on summon, we can take a Dino from deck and add it to our hand. In this case, it is always going to be Misk, because we are not in a very good position otherwise. So we grab the Misk, discard the Misk to give ourselves protection, and then I think under this circumstance, it's probably best to just banish the Misk straight away for a level 1. Now we could go for the Ding Dong, which is kind of bad because we've already got the 9 Pillars in hand, but obviously it would then give us an Omni. Or we could go Animadorned and attempt to go for UCT and some plays like that. In this case, I think we'd rather go for Animadorned here. Just kind of based on what we can do with this in terms of we can kind of make a bit of a better negate than just the Ding Dong Pass. Although Ding Dong Pass is still very powerful. So we can go now, Animadorned on summon, get ourselves the double evolution pill. Link Animadorned away. Do the little 2-card thingy where we go for the Link Rebo and then Secure Gun, if I can find him. There he is. Now we have double online. We've got Dogoran in hand, 9 Pillars, so we can we just go for a double here, banish these 2, and get ourselves. Oh, actually, before we do double, we'll use the token that we generated with Soul Eating and Lost World. Try and pop the token. We'll do replacement effect to pop from deck. So with Lost World's replacement effect, we're actually going to pop the Petit Pteranodon from the deck, if I can find him. I know they're in there somewhere. There he is. Pop him from deck. And we'll actually summon from this the Xenometeorus. So currently, we have access to level 6, level 7, level 10. We also have, obviously, a couple of interesting bits and bobs, because we can now do the Xenometeorus, where we destroy Sabersaurus in hand, because he's not really doing anything in there, to be fair. And we bring out Lars from deck. So we bring out the Sword Arm of Dragon from deck. So at this point now, we have so many options, because with these 2, with Xenometeorus and Sword Arm, we can make ourselves Lars, which is probably the best negation in this that this deck can muster. We also do have double evolution pill for the UCT. These 2 are a little bit useless, but we could. I kind of have a fun play. Yeah, actually, what we're going to do here, we're going to go overlay these 2, make Lars. We'll go for the double evolution pill here. We'll banish Linkaribo and Sabersaurus. Get UCT from deck. These 2 are kind of dead cards in hand, but with what we've got left on the field, we are locked into dinosaurs, worms, dragons, and sea serpents. Can't really do too much with the Animadorned and the Secure Gardener. We can turn them both into a Weepoduckus just to give us a little bit more protection, but at the moment the Animadorned serves that function anyway. They've still got the token, so at this stage we are kind of happy to pass. These 2 cards, it's a shame we couldn't make use of. If we wanted to, we could have gone for the Yangzing line, but this line is slightly overall more powerful. So you set the 9 pillars just because you could be able to get into the Yang Zing next turn. And we've kind of got a decent board here. We've got Lars, which is essentially when the opponent activates a card effect up to twice per turn, it can detach a material quick effect to negate any card on the field, which is bonkers. We have UCT, which can just pop the Animadorn Archosaur to set everything face down. And that's about it. And we have the Lost World to prevent them from being targeted by card effects, which is pretty darn good. I mean, it's not the greatest end board, but at least it bearing in mind we had, what was it? We had 2 essential cards that do nothing in the opening hand. It worked pretty well. And from what you can get from just like 1 or 2 cards womboing off. We'll do another test hand and test combo, and then that'll be it for the video. Right, let's try our final test hand. Baby Sabersaurus, Sword Armed, Animadorned, Misk, and Sabersaurus. Okay. Well, this is Bricky times infinity. We don't really have much that we can do. But we can still put up, I think the best play for this is generally just going to make the Yang Zing board and just like hope. So we go for Misk straight away. Well, actually we have a couple of options here because so this is what I kind of like about Dinosaur. Even in bad hands there's options because you could just banish the Misk, grab Jirachi, normal summon Sword Art, Sabersaurus, go for Denglong and set up Yang Zing stuff. Or we could go Animadorned, get ourselves a double evolution pill, make UCT with Baby Sabersaurus in hand as the option to pop on the opponent's turn. I think it's better just to go for the Omnis, so we are just going to regrettably use Misk immediately here from Grave. Summon out Aeolio. Normal Sabersaurus. Turn these 2 into Ding Dong. Ding Dong, grab 9 pillars if I can actually find it in the deck. There he is. And then dump Chiwen straight afterwards. At this point, so we've now made Denglong into level 1. So we could float him into Linkuriboh. That's probably the play, right? Because at least that then does something. It can contribute the attack and obviously can kind of summon itself back. Yeah, I think we're just going to go Denglong into Linkuriboh here and grab Suani from Denglong floating his effect. And we're just going to have to pass turn there with the 9 pillars and access to Held and hope that those 2 negates and potentially Linkuriboh's attack negation kind of keep us in the game. On the next turn, what do we draw? Soul Eating Oviraptor. And if we're not dead, we then basically have everything with Soul Eating and all this. So that was like a sort of an unoptimal hand, and again where we basically opened 2 of your hard bricks and the 2 normal monsters, and you can still make some decent negates. It's not like crazy or anything when you get a bad hand. I'm going to go for one more. I want to see like what happens if we actually draw Ground Xeno, because we haven't seen that card yet, and that card enables so much. One thing I should also say is if you know what the opponent's playing, like if you're in game 2 or game 3, you can obviously mold your end board to better be equipped to deal with what their main archetype is. Okay, this hand is still pretty good even though there's no Ground Xeno, which I would absolutely kill for at this point. So how do we want to proceed? Probably the best play is Lost World first, obviously. We've got the Misk, which is decent, because that enables our Animadorn to go off without a hitch and gets us into UCT pretty easily. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for that. So we're going Misk straight away, and then and leave it in the grave for now. I don't think we want to waste its banish effect just yet. Normal the Animadorn, and at this point it can't be interrupted because you've been Misked and Lost Worlded, and the opponent now has a Dino token. We always forget to put that on the field, and then we grab ourselves with Animadorn. If I can find it, double evolution pill, perfect. We wombo him into Link and Secure Gardener, so that's in the grave, and then that's in our extra monster zone, and the opponent has that token. So at this point, we've obviously got the Secure Gardener, we've got double evolution pill online, and we have we don't really have much else going for us, to be fair, because we can't proc the Meteors so we can't proc UCT in my turn. So I think the best case that we're going to do right now is go for the double, get ourselves out the UCT, and kind of go into the opponent's turn and just hope that they give us an opportunity where they summon a monster and we can just shotgun UCT, popping the Petit Pteranodon in hat, or popping either the Petit Pteranodon in hand, procking Meteors to summon himself, procking Petit Pteranodon to summon out the Pank, and then hoping that we can kind of cruise through that. Basically, if I can find actually Pank, where are the flippers Pank? There he is. If you don't really open any of your search spells or any way to get to Soul Eating, the deck does have some difficulties. Like, I really enjoy when this deck wombos off as best it can, and even like a bad end board isn't the worst. Like, it's very hard to find a hand that like truly bricks and you can't do anything with, which is one of the reasons I do enjoy playing the deck. Let's do one more test hand, and this is a pretty good hand. I know the double Lost Wild is kind of a bit annoying, but we'd open one Lost Wild, then Ground Xeno, of course. So the Ground Xeno is just nutty. So we get to add one of our tuners to hand, of which we only have two. We've got the Aeolio, which we normally like to summon off of Misk or off Baby Floating. So in this case, we will add the Xeno Meteorus. And then we get to destroy one card in our hand or field. And the obvious choice here is Baby Cerosaurus. So we pop the Baby Cerosaurus. This then lets us trigger on chain 1 the Baby Cerosaurus, and chain 2 Xeno Meteorus to chain block. So Baby Cerosaurus, so Meteorus will come out chain 2. Cerosaurus will then get us the Oviraptor. They'll then get their Lost Egg token. And then we will obviously shuffle our deck up and proc Oviraptor now to add a dude to hand. The dude we're going to add, of course, in this scenario, in this economy, it's got to be Misk. Well, actually, no, it doesn't even have to be Misk, because with Xeno Meteorus, we can kind of go, we can wombo a little further off. This is why I love this deck, because there's so many options. Like, at the moment, obviously, Misk seems crazy because we grab Misk, banish Misk, gives us house protection. But with Xeno Meteorus here, wherever we add, we can also then just pop in hand to proc the summon of a dude from deck. So I think we want to go, in this case, for another baby. I know I often like just browse the deck because there's so many. It just really does depend on what you're facing, what line you want to go with. So Baby Cerosaurus here. That's one of the things I really love about this deck, just the diverging lines kind of based on what you're facing. Like, I know people go like Dino is like a monkey brain, whatever, but because of how flexible the actual deck is, it does take some skill knowing what the best plays are to make when you're facing your opponent's deck, and which really will set you up in the best path for victory. So here we're going to grab Baby, obviously, and just thinking if there's a reason that I shouldn't just Meteorus here. Like, obviously it does lock us against the doing the link line with Animadorned, but I think that's probably fine. So yeah, we'll go for Xeno Meteorus, pop Baby Cerosaurus in hand to summon a normal from deck. And here, I think the best one is just going to be the Sword Arm, just so we can get into our Lars, and then Baby Cerosaurus will proc. And with the Baby Cerosaurus this time, we can get a level 4 or lower. Let's just go for the Aeolio. I think we probably want to just like clean up a little bit of our board space. So we'll go for Arm and Meteorus, make ourselves Lars. Now we're going to try and declare Oviraptor to destroy a Dino on the field to revive one from grave. So we're going to target the token, pop from our deck. Now we're just going to pop the Misk in deck. And with this, we then bring back a baby. We're going to go Aeolo and Soul Eating here. Make Ding Dong. Actually, I just thought this play actually kind of goes nutty in a minute. Grab the Ding Dong. Ding Dong will grab ourselves 9 pillars. Now, at this point, we could opt to go for the old Chill and Dump. But I have an interesting play because we've got the Bian in hand. Dumping the Chiwen doesn't really do anything because we will not have access to the held line on the opponent's turn. We could go for the Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is a little bit busted if you ask me. 5 and 2, then we float into a dude, then we can summon the Bian from the hand, then we can make held anyway because we're going to float into Chiwen. I think that seems pretty good. So we're going to go, yeah, Ding Dong and Baby Source, make AFD. We don't need to do the AFD with the field spell. I don't see a point in popping Lost World here. I mean, if we're in a situation where we're going to time, you could maybe do that and grab usually from deck. But what's going to happen now is we're going to proc the Ding Dong, grab ourselves Chiwen. Ancient Fairy Dragon, special Bian. Actually, no. What we do, sorry, with Dengdong, actually, to give ourselves the best opportunity with Dengdong, if we grab Suwani with Dengdong, because then it means that we can use the Suwani as our fodder for our Omni Negate, and then float the Suwani into Chiwen from deck, and then we have the Chiwen and Bian to make the level 4 again. So, like, yeah, go for the Suwani here. And then we still have Miskin Grave here. How many have we got in the grave? We've got 3, 4, 5. We can make a level 5 from deck, or up to a level 4 from deck. Banish the Misk for 1. Archosaur. Archosaur get us double Ev. Blooper Goose, we still have 1 zone free. Double Ev, banish the Ding Dong, and Baby Saurus. Grab UCT from deck, and then now we have UCT access as well using the Animadorn as the pop. Plus double Omni Negates with the 9 pillars into Herald, and double negate with Lars, and just like a big old field where he can't target my guys with card effects as well. And he's got the token stuck on the field, so he can't, if he's cashed here, he can't like just summon his guys for free. So yeah, that was like we kind of just built that board willy-nilly, just as me kind of thinking of what things the deck can do. Like it is really like different from Dinos of old, just because of how flexible the extra deck is. Ancient Fairy Dragon opens up a lot, like just the ability to kind of actually leave your Ding Dong plus one of your level 2 babies to make AFD to just summon dudes from hand. We still didn't see. Oh, we still have the Ground Xeno, which we decided. See, this is the other thing. We still had the Ground Xeno, so if at any point we actually wanted to grab the normal, like when we did grab the normal with Lars, we could have used Ground Xeno to turn Meteorus and Sword Arm into this dude, who is pretty good. He's just not very good going first, because he gets a Dinosaur back from your graveyard to your hand, and then if you summon from graveyard, destroy 2 cards on the field, 1 from your hand or field, and 1 your opponent controls. And if he's destroyed, you can shuffle normal, so graveyard to the deck, then special summon him. He just like doesn't have the gas going first, but like is a really good second turn play, and obviously we do have still access to that with the Ground Xeno in the grave. So this is just like a pretty powerful end board, probably up there with the first end board I made in terms of the most powerful, and like just another example of like what this deck can build if you have like a favorable hand. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this sort of combo guide to the deck and saw some of the cool plays. I mean, I was sort of, my mind was expanding as I was playing some of these lines just because of how intricate they can be, which is what I love. I love that it's not just like one note doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, if you enjoyed the content, please subscribe. I'm aiming to try and do a few Yu-Gi-Oh themed videos each week. I might do some like custom card showcases and stuff like that. I just need to kind of get the tech and setup ready for all that. At the moment, I'm just kind of filming using my phone with a tripod, which is very wonky and not the greatest. But yeah, we're just growing, and hopefully we can get some good subscribers and get some likes to this so we can grow the channel more. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.